What's going on, guys? In the works, and we are playing some Gun Master today, and this is a mode that I don't play a ton of, but I figured it might be fun to hop in here and play a few rounds, and not to pat my own back, but I'm pretty good at Gun Master. I've gotten to the point where I can consistently get at least in the top 3, and it depends on what kind of server you hop into. If you hop into one of the servers that just have a ton of people into it, sometimes it's just really difficult to win a Gun Master game. Other times, if you pop into a server that doesn't have a lot of people to begin with, you can't win at all because it just takes forever, and then you have like a 30-minute gunplay, or gunplay. Well, I guess it is gunplay, but you have a 30-minute gameplay and you don't really have anything to do with it. But I guess that doesn't matter if you're just in it to just play. But for me, that's a pretty long Gun Master. But luckily, this one only lasts around 11 minutes, just under 11 minutes. And I actually trimmed out some of the downtime minutes, so you guys will get to watch it in 7 minutes. But on the topic of Gun Master, we're going to be talking about mastering all the guns. Now, you guys know that I am on my mastery quest, where I essentially am trying to get 500 kills with every single primary. Now, I've got 100 kills with most of the pistols, and I say most at this point because the pistols are so difficult, just because I always find myself getting bored when I go pistol only, and I'm about to get owned pretty hard right here by this guy. Just watch this. I'm going to kill this guy, but then I run over here and, oh, what's this? A guy in the corner. Now, I can tell you from experience of playing several rounds of Gun Master in my lifetime, you're not going to win Gun Master playing like that. That is not the way that you want to do it. If you want to be consistent in mastering Gun Master, or gun game, or whatever it is you guys like to call it these days, you gotta move around. You're not gonna win a game if you just sit in the corner and wait for the kills to come to you. You've got to take the kills to them, because the one thing that's kind of annoying about Gun Master is it's team based, which makes sense. I mean, it wouldn't really make sense as a free-for-all, because spawns would be all wonky, it'd be all over the place, and just it wouldn't be a fun time. But because it is team based, it means that you're competing with your teammates to get kills. So if you've got someone who's just a complete superstar on your team, it's most likely that you're actually going to be hurting him every time you get a kill, and every time he gets a kill, it's going to be hurting you, because you're trying to beat him for first place, So it is a little bit difficult in that scenario, because a lot of times you get into teams where there's good people on each side, so you're really competing with maybe like the top 4 people on each side for first place. So it is actually kind of fun. I mean, if you're into a lot of high competition, because I don't really get too excited playing Battlefield, and when I mean excited, I mean like I don't really like, get my heart pumping or anything crazy like that. But for whatever reason, when I play Gun Master, I get really into it. Like I'm really, pumped up, ready to win a Gun Master, and that says a lot, because I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours logged on Battlefield 3, hundreds of videos made on Battlefield 3, so it's pretty hard to get my heart pumping when it comes to Battlefield games. But honestly, this is a lot of fun. I do like Gun Master. I mean, they even have it on the Aftermath maps now, if you can find a server running that. It's kind of rare, I will admit, it is kind of rare. I noticed that there were more on consoles, so if you're a console player, you might be able to find a couple Gun Masters on there. They have some different loadouts and stuff like that, because they now have it so that you can use different gun loadouts. Now, this is the original one. This is the one with the LVG, the JNG 90, the M417, the really difficult ones to get. I think everybody hates the LVG. Everyone hated getting that kill because it always takes forever. But in this one, I get it like soon as I get the LVG. So I guess I got pretty lucky, and I'm only on the knife for probably like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds. So I actually do a pretty good job with that. But back on topic, I got on a really weird tangent there about Gun Master. We're going to talk about mastering all the guns, or at least a little bit, because one of the things a lot of people ask me are like some tips on being good with every weapon. Because I don't really coin myself as the best Battlefield player in the world. That's never been my focus on the channel. I play Battlefield for fun. And oh, don't try to knife there, Jake, but I was out of ammo and the MTAR takes forever to reload. But I don't coin myself the best player of anything. Like I play a lot of my games for fun, but I do coin myself as being a little bit good at being the jack of all the weapons. Like that's my big thing, using the underused weapons, using every single weapon there is to use out there. And a lot of people ask me, how can you just be consistent with every single weapon in Battlefield 3? And I mean, if you really think about it, it's not that hard. You've basically got 3 tiers of weapons in Battlefield. You've got the high fire rate, the medium fire rate, and then you've got the low fire rate weapons. A lot of the low fire rate assault rifles, like the the AK-74M, the Scar L, which you actually seen me use here. How ironic, or I guess that's more of a coincidence versus ironic. But anyways, Scar L, AK-74M, what's another one? L85. Those low recoil, low fire rate weapons. You've also got kind of the same class of weapons on the engineer and the support. I mean, if you look at the support, there's high fire rate LMGs, there's low fire rate LMGs, there's medium fire rate LMGs. And you've got engineer, you know, you've got the AKS-74U, which is comparable to AK-74M. You've got the G36C, which has a fire rate comparable to the M416. So once you learn how to handle each of those tiers of weapons, I think it's pretty much cross-platform no matter what kit you're playing. Now, the sniper rifles, those are a whole different animal. I think the sniper rifles are a little bit more tricky. But one of the things that I think is the most overstated in Battlefield 3, and you know, I'm guilty of this myself because I talk about it in a lot of my videos, but is recoil patterns. A lot of recoil patterns, although there are some differences, are pretty similar. You can learn how to control pretty much any weapon based on that tiering. And that's kind of my mentality when I approach Battlefield 3. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't really understand, you know, how this game was designed in terms of what they were trying to do with balance. But it's pretty obvious to see, okay, you know, recoil patterns, yeah, they're going to be different, but it really comes down a lot of times to fire rate, knowing when to burst, knowing when you can go full auto. And I think learning how to use each of those tiers individually, you know, what situation you're gonna want to burst in, it really helps you become a more complete player. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on. Like, I'm really excited to be finishing up this master quest eventually. I'm still working on some of the support weapons. Unfortunately, I haven't had a ton of time to game, especially Battlefield 3. I've just been so busy, and the downtime I have been having, I've been spending on other games, so it has been a little bit difficult to complete the master quest. But I'm really excited to get it done. I really hope to get it done before Battlefield 4. That's my goal, because we all know that I will probably never come back. Well, I'll never say never, but I probably won't come back to Battlefield 3 for a while after Battlefield 4 finally comes out. So definitely want to get it done. It's the only thing I really care about right now in terms of Battlefield 4. That's why you always see me using different weapons in my videos. So I should probably get on top of things and finish that up. And you see me work my way up to the LVG. It was a slow and steady climb, but I'm got a pretty comfortable lead at this point. I think the next person is still on the M417, but I get lucky. I get this thing, I run around the corner there, I get a lucky kill with it, and hey, I've got the hardest weapon out of the way. Now all I got to do is get an easy knife, and sometimes that's easier said than done, but luckily for me, I get what I like to call the front stab, and that was a pretty generous knife, I will admit, but hey, I still got him. I feel like I still deserve to kill him. So I think that everyone can learn how to master all the weapons in Battlefield 3. I think that's basically what I'm trying to go with this video. It just takes patience. It just takes a different approach to the weaponry, figuring out, hey, what weapon works for me, what weapon doesn't work for me, how can I make myself better. But if you missed my past videos, here's a chance to catch up, and I will see you guys next time. Happy Mother's Day. Peace.